Hi guys, I know it's been a long time since I've done a video. It's been almost a year. It's been a crazy year with kids and work, and we moved, and now my craft room has changed and it's much bigger now as we moved into a house with a two-car garage. So one half of the garage is actually my craft room now. I'm still working on getting everything put away and organized, and that's just taking a lot more time because of everything else I have going on. But I found time this weekend to do this fun little project that I wanted to share with you. It's actually very simple, pretty quick. So let's get to it. So we're making this wreath, this heart-shaped coffee filter wreath. All you're going to need are coffee filters, some ribbon, cardboard, something sharp and pointy to kind of poke a hole through your cardboard, and some sort of ink or paint or something to color your coffee filters. So this is what my finished one looks like, and I will show you how we started. So I started out for Christmas and my birthday. I got a lot of records, and I used the boxes that the records were shipped in to cut out my hearts. So what I did was I drew one side of a heart because I'm very bad at making symmetrical hearts. So I drew one side of a heart, I cut it out, then I folded it over and traced around the other side to cut that out. And then I kind of worked and cut out a middle. Now, I colored it pink, which is the color of my coffee filters, and technically the color isn't pink, it's Merlot. And I say that because I actually use Marion Smith's Color Lab. It's a little paint kit, and if you love Glimmer Mists as much as I do, and I have a huge obsession with them, you will absolutely love Marion Smith's Color Lab. It allows you to make basically your own glimmer mist, or you can not put glimmer in them and they can just be some sort of spray ink. So this is the Merlot, and this one actually has gold glimmer in it, but this was the first color I used. I actually got this kit last year for Christmas and have not really had time to do anything with it. So I made this just to play around with. Loved the color. So I knew that's what I wanted to do for this project. To make the glimmer, or not the glimmer, but the ink itself, I actually did it in this big old bowl. I have no idea how much water I started out with. I just kind of poured some water in. And the Merlot color is actually part of a recipe, if you will, that Marion Smith releases with the kit itself. So it told me exactly what I needed to do to make it. I added some shimmer in it. I used the Vintage Rose shimmer, and it's actually a really beautiful color. It's like a goldy pink. It's very hard to see on the camera, but it's very pretty. Now, when I did my coffee filters, the glimmer, you can't really see it on the finished project, so I don't recommend adding it, as it's just kind of wasting it. But put it in a bowl, I mixed it all up, and then I took my coffee filters and I just put them in upside down inside. I let the ink get absorbed up in a little bit. I let it sit in there, I don't know, not very long, just enough that it was grabbing a good amount. And then I pulled it out and I let it sit upside down for a while as the ink just kind of continued to go up. And then I let them dry. It took like overnight to let them dry. And I did like 50 filters all at once. Stuck them in here and then pulled them out, let it kind of collect, and then I just kind of separated them in a few batches. And I actually didn't let all of them dry overnight because I can't wait for anything, so I had to do this project, and I used my heat tool to dry them. And it didn't take long, a couple minutes really, and I used, I think, a total of like 32, 35 filters to make my wreath. So after I've had these going and they were in the process of drying, I painted over my cardboard with the same ink that I made. And this was just so in case, as I was putting them in, if anywhere there should be some cardboard showing, it wouldn't really grab your attention very quickly. And then I used my heat tool on that, and that took no time at all. So next was poking the holes into the cardboard. For me, I have this metal file, and at first I used this smaller end, but I kind of needed them bigger. Now this is like a triangle shape, so I poked it through, and then I poked it all the way down through, and I twisted it to make a hole. If you look on the back here, my original one, I have a ton of holes back here. I really honestly had no idea how many I would need, and I just kind of started poking holes all over it, and then I was like, oh, those holes are too big. So then I just randomly started making some bigger holes, and I didn't even need all the bigger holes that I made once I started filling it in. So I would just kind of sporadically put some holes in. And if you need to add more, it was simple enough because there was a few areas like holes weren't quite where I needed them to be, so I poked some more in as I was starting to fill it up. I actually tied the ribbon on before I did the filters, and that way as I put the filters on, they kind of covered up the ribbon where it was. So you're just going to go through and you're just going to poke a hole down through, and like I said, my thing, I needed to twist it because it's like a triangle to make a nice hole. And then you just take your coffee filter, you're going to take it in the middle and just kind of let it do whatever it's going to do, however it's going to bunch up, and I just twisted it. Twist, 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 twist. And then you just poke it through your cardboard and pull a little bit till you get it at however much you want it to stick up. And then you can just kind of play with it a little bit. And then you just kind of keep going along to the next one. So I poked my holes through first, as I thought that was easier, and then I just kind of went through and started adding my coffee filters. But you just twist, 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 and then you just poke through, and then I just pull. And you can just kind of fluff. And the more you fluff, the less you'll even need of the coffee filters. So if you just have a couple around, like I would suggest, you know, just kind of fluff, fluff, fluff as you go around. And I actually kind of wish maybe I would have done that a little bit more. Some of my areas are a little more tighter than others, but I think it still turned out pretty cute, and it looks good on my front door, which I'm very excited about. It was really, I just wanted to make sure it kept that heart shape. You think it will be easy, but once you start filling it in, it kind of all meshes together. So it took a little bit playing with some of the filters and just kind of rearranging them into a shape, fluffing them into a shape that worked. So I just went back and forth. So I started doing some on one side, and then I would go to the other side and start filling it in because I wanted it to be even as I worked my way down. I finished here, and then that was it. So then you just got yourself a cute little wreath to hang on your door. If you are putting this on somewhere where you have like a window where you can see through, I would suggest maybe covering over it just so you don't see, you don't get smacked in the face by that ugliness on the back here, but you certainly don't have to. I'm not covering mine. Mine's going on a solid door though. I will say that it sticks out. See, these are kind of rough and that kind of sticks out. You could trim them a little bit. I wouldn't trim them too much, just to kind of save you from them falling out, but you could always most certainly trim them a little bit just so they don't stick out as much. And then you just hang it on your door and you're good to go. So I hope you guys like this project. It really, really was simple. It took me no time at all. I think it took me longer to gather everything and get prepared to make this video than it was to actually even make this wreath. The longest part, like I said, is letting them dry, and even letting them dry or drying them yourself is going to be the longest part. So I hope you guys like this. I hope you guys make this. It really, really, really was simple. And it's kind of stuff you already have in your house, unless you're like me and you have a Keurig and then you don't have coffee filters in your house and you have to go out to the store and buy some. But that's okay. I'll find other projects to use these coffee filters for. But I hope you guys like this and keep checking back in. I'm really going to try to make more and more videos for you guys. So yeah, thanks.